Good morning, thriving warriors and those who wish they were. Alexa, what is the date and time?
In Pahrump, it's Wednesday, July 20th, 2022 at 5:52 a.m.
Okay, 5:52 a.m., a little bit earlier than usual. And Alexa, what is the weather forecast for today?
In Pahrump, it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit with partly cloudy skies. Today, you can look for mostly sunny weather, with a high of 108 degrees and a low of 80 degrees. By the way, there's an excessive heat warning for that area Thursday, July 21st, 11 a.m. to Friday, July 22nd, 8 p.m.
Okay, great. So here we are, career services, where our goal is to help you move from point A to point B in your life. And we do that with little nuggets of things that can easily be digested in a day, little breadcrumbs you can pick up, think about, digest, let them percolate through your system and help you become the person you want to be. And that's a key part, is who do you want to become? This week, well, actually for the next week, we are going to be talking about neurotransmitters, because it turns out our program is a neuroscience-oriented program to success. There goes Charlene. This is a neuroscience-oriented program to success, path to success. So it's kind of important to know what neurotransmitters are and how they affect us. So it turns out all creatures with brains do not have high language skills. They don't have high processing skills. So a system developed way before, millions of years before our thinking brains developed. And it was a system that, in effect, rewarded us for doing certain things or possibly encouraged us to do certain things. And that system is based upon neurotransmitters. In us, we're only going to talk about, we're primarily going to talk about humans, and this is a very short video. I will put a link to a Simon Sinek video, 99U, I think is what it is, that goes into depth about these neurotransmitters and how they work. And Jordan Peterson has a lot of things on the how neurotransmitters get us to work, dopamine, serotonin, etc. But in effect, when we do certain things, we release certain neurotransmitters that make us feel certain ways. So we don't have to think about things. We just are programmed that if we do A, then neurotransmitter B is released. And when neurotransmitter B is released, we feel this way. Really simple, really basic. Jordan Peterson talks a lot about lobsters, or he used to talk about a lot about lobsters and serotonin, and this system goes back 250 million years, well before there were things that could even be considered humans. So, given that this is a neuroscience-oriented approach to success, let's talk about neurotransmitters. Let's talk about the first one. So there's 7 that we'll probably talk about. And the first 5 are EDSO: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, EDSO. And the first 2 are what Simon Sinek calls the selfish ones, endorphins and dopamine, because you don't need anybody else to get them. And the other 2, serotonin and oxytocin, help us bond or do things with and for other people. And then on the other side, we have cortisol, we have testosterone, and I think we'll talk a little bit about ghrelin. So EDSO. Today, endorphins. As Simon Sinek said, endorphins are designed to do one thing, or their purpose is one thing: mask physical pain. You've heard of something called the runner's high, or how people feel good when they exercise. The reason they feel good is their brain releases a chemical called endorphin. Endorphin makes us feel good. So when you're exercising after about 10 or 15 minutes, it's like, wow, I feel good. So as Simon Sinek would say, the historical purpose for that was to get people to continue to do things like exercise or hunt down animals for hours and hours and hours. Okay, good morning, Jeff. Jeff is on board. I'm going to say good morning, Jeff. Good morning. So endorphins is to mask physical pain. So when you're running, you're breaking down your muscles. If we didn't have endorphins, when we got tired, we would stop. We tend to stop. Endorphins makes us continue to go forward. What masks physical pain. Another example that is used is laughing. Laughing is actually convulsing, constricting your muscles. And everyone has probably experienced the time when they say, stop, stop, it hurts. They laugh so much that it hurts. Well, they've depleted their endorphin supply. So how can you tell someone, okay, so that's endorphin, mask physical pain. And you mask physical pain when you're doing physical exercise or when you're laughing. You release endorphin. That's the thing you want to do. Now, on EDSO, these 4 things, and then also on the other side, cortisol, everybody kind of has their go-to neurotransmitter that they do more often than the others. It's the way they do things. People that are addicts or have addictive personalities are more dopamine driven. People who are heroes are more oxytocin driven. People who are designers are probably more serotonin driven. A key thing to being successful is to identify what is the neurotransmitter that drives that person. So if you see somebody who is fat, well, I guess that you can't say that anymore. That's politically incorrect and insensitive. In order to be woke, you have to say they're short for their weight. Short for their height. They're not fat, they're just short for their height. Okay. So what is it that they do that makes them feel good? Eating. Eating releases dopamine. But we're not talking about dopamine. We're talking about endorphin. So, oh boy, I gotta turn this off. This is gonna go crazy. So Charlene has entered the security camera zone. So every time she moves, I'm gonna get a notification. Not anymore. Okay. How can you tell somebody whose go-to neurotransmitter is endorphin, the thing they do to make them feel good, the thing they do to overcome stress, the thing they do to overcome frustration? You can tell them from 150 feet, 200 feet away. They're in good shape. They like to exercise. Why? Because it makes them feel good. Yeah, it makes them look good too, and it appeals to their ego, and their clothes fit better, and everything is better, and life is easier. But all of that follows from endorphins. So they get up, they go work out, makes them feel good, and the side benefit is you're healthier. And it becomes their way of life. It becomes a habit, a routine, unconscious behavior. I have to work out, in quotes, rock and roll quotes. I have to work out. Why? Well, because I have to work out. Well, fundamentally, from a neuroscience perspective, because they have a habit of feeling good by releasing endorphins. By feeling good by masking physical pain. The physical pain occurs when you use your muscles and you break down muscle tissue, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so we're 9 minutes and almost 10 minutes into it. Endorphins. All you have to do to release endorphins is go outside, walk, read a book on jokes. You're going to find you're going to feel better. If your life sucks, go for a walk, go do some push-ups, do some yoga, do something. No, all you have to do is release endorphins. And all you have to do to release endorphins is create some kind of physical activity, or laughing, which is also physical activity, but we don't really think of it that way. We think of it as its own category of activity. So all you have to do to release endorphins, go exercise for 10 or 15 minutes. Just do something. There's a million things you can do without even getting off your chair, getting out of your chair. Like you can go to YouTube and type in, how can I exercise without leaving my chair? And there's all kinds of stretching exercises you can do. There's breathing exercises you can do. There's all kinds of things you can do to release endorphin. And if you release endorphins, you will feel better. Wow. And if you do it regularly, you'll have a routine. And if you do that enough, it'll become a habit. So you can do it unconsciously. You can get a little squeeze ball. Where's my squeeze ball? Here's one right here. You can get a little squeeze ball and just during the day squeeze it. What are the benefits? Well, you're going to release endorphin after a certain time. And the other benefit is you're going to build muscle tissue and you're going to feel better and look better. Really easy stuff. As Simon Sinek would say, good system. If you want to feel better, do some physical activity. That's all you have to do. And we know this because we can look at people who are generally not feeling well. They are labeled depressed. Okay. And what do? They like to do nothing. It's not that they like to do nothing. It's that they're not motivated to do something. So rather than doing something, they do nothing. They feel bad because they do nothing. And then doing nothing creates thoughts in our head. We release a different neurotransmitter, cortisol. And we're thinking about, why do I feel bad? What is this? And boy, it's going to get worse. And I feel that pain in my knee. Maybe I've got cancer and all of these things. Get out of bed. So all of the people will say, Goggins, Will Jocko, Mark Devine, all of these people say, just get out of bed and go do something. Walk around the block. Do a push-up. Get a can of vegetables and do some curls. Do something. Do leg lifts in your bed. Do toe wiggles in your bed. Just do something to release endorphin. If you release endorphins, you will feel better. Wow. Who knew? Neuroscientists knew. Okay. So everybody, that's it. Jeff, thank you. I'll give you a call later regarding Steve Perry. Yes, Stephen Perry from Middle California is on a journey. Some people might get that joke. So he will be joining us today. We also might have a veteran. I will be back at the Oasis. Thank you to Susie Celine for helping us yesterday. Michael Murphy. No, Michael McDonald. Another one. Michael McDonald, who I met with yesterday. Has a lot of good ideas. Looking forward to seeing him again. So, and again, I am always here. We've got two people on this call. There's Jeff, somebody else, some other guests, probably Diana. Who knows? Maybe it's Charlene getting ready to leave at 6:30. And let's see, what else? That's probably about it. Have to put the new tire, new-ish, patched, ... tire on the van today. And there we go. So, boom, we're at 1429, boom. Navy SEAL Maxim. Yesterday was the only easy day. What are you going to do today to push yourself a little bit more than yesterday? Have a little bit more discipline, a little bit more stamina, a little bit more productivity, a little bit more doing something for other people, a little bit more meaning in your life, a little bit more purpose. What are you going to do that? You can do what Senator Kerry Buck does. Just have a checklist of I'm going to make 10 people's lives better today, and check them off your list as you hit them. Also, do your calendar. I have been following my own advice, doing a calendar every day. Oops. So there's my weekly calendar. Color-coded even. Wow. So that's it. We are at 15:31, kind of long one today. Endorphins. Tomorrow we're going to talk about dopamine. And with that, I will say cut.